Apologies if you've been waiting around for about 10 seconds. I think we're about 10 seconds late. I'm so OCD about all this.
We were having a good chat.
Yeah, we were chatting away, and I thought, oh, shizzle, it's 4 o'clock. Yeah, so cheers, everyone, wherever you're watching this. So Sam's here today, and we have got a fantastic topic for you today. It's a right old hot potato, this is. There's a wee bit of echo coming out of your speakers. I just heard a bit of my voice then. Any chance you could just turn them down a wee bit, Sam?
Yeah, is that a bit better?
Yeah. God forbid you should put any headphones on them in, but you know. Speakers are fine. We love speakers. Speakers are brilliant. Right, listen, if you are watching this live, can you say hi? Claire Church has already said hi, which is lovely. And hi to you too, Claire. We feed off your energies. It's really important that we know who's around us, who's listening, who's checking in with all this. I think it's going to be a bumper session today, actually, because we've done quite a bit of promotion, and it has tickled your fancy. This is a bit of a hot potato for you guys. Caroline Turnbull's here too. Now, I have to do my usual thing here, which is hello, Facebook user. If you are showing up as Facebook user, you need to do the following thing. Have a look at the streamer on the bottom of the screen here, and it says streamyard.com/Facebook. You don't type anything else in, just type that into your browser, streamyard.com/Facebook. And there's a really obvious button on there that just says give StreamYard permission to show your name, to display your name, right? And then we'll know who the blooming heck you are, because I love the fact that you're here, Facebook user, but I just don't know who you are. Kim Barden. So yes, you can do that. Alternatively, you can, every time you post a comment, you can say who you are, or you can just go to streamyard.com. Not streamers.com. Don't do that one. Just go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give it permission to display your name. Right, so the topic for today, for this glorious Friday, I say glorious. I'm trying to keep my chin up, but I don't understand what all this summer fuss is about, because I haven't seen the sun for 3 days. And it's mid-July. So God knows what kind of a time they're having in Southern Europe. I blame Brexit, you know. I think what it is, now we left Europe, they won't let us have their weather.
We weighed anchor and sailed off, did we?
Apparently. I almost feel like we're in bloody Iceland or Greenland or something. Kevin's here with his new laptop. Welcome to you and your new laptop. And I have made it, says Facebook. Usually, see, we don't know who you are, unfortunately. We'd love to know who you are. I am going to display another banner now, because you're all grown-ups. You get the idea. streamyard.com/Facebook. If you're showing up as Facebook user, then go there and sort it out. So, welcome to Thanksgiving Friday. What's it about this week, and why is Sam here? Why is Sam adding some much-needed glamour to these Friday sessions? Facebook ads for online coaching and therapists. What a hot potato that is. I have to say something before Sam gets started, because I know Sam's got a fantastic agenda for us today. What I want to say is the following. I haven't gone mad, and I haven't suddenly changed direction, because as you guys will well know, every promise I make to you guys is that you can build a thriving practice, coaching and therapy practice, without spending a penny on ads. It even says that on the front cover of my book. If any of you got my blue book, it says 99 ways to have your ideal clients chasing you around in circles without going mad or spending a penny on ads. So I haven't gone mad. I haven't diverted from that at all. There is absolutely no doubt at all, sitting here today, I'm sure Sam won't take me to task on this, there's no doubt at all that you could build a 6-figure coaching or therapy business online without spending a penny on ads. I know, because I've done that. Some of you might be aware, just before Christmas, we passed the $1 million threshold in JHM in terms of client revenue committed. I hadn't spent a penny on us to create $1 million in revenue. So Facebook ads are not essential. But what we're going to talk about today is some viable use cases for them. And Sam and I have been working together for, my goodness, what is it now? It's not quite a year, is it? Maybe 9 months or so? Something like that. Certainly well back into 2022. And we kind of cracked the code a little bit, didn't we, Sam, for getting members in the group? Yeah, it's working quite well. It's a funnel, that, isn't it? So there are some specific use cases. And by the way, I can hear myself, Sam, echoing back through your speakers.
Do you want me to quickly grab some headphones? Are you okay
would
give
you
me
mind?
literally 30 seconds?
So I'll carry on with the preamble just while Sam's grabbing her headphones. So be aware of that, folks. This is not mandatory. We're not saying, right, Jonny's changed his mind on ads. Go and buy some Facebook ads. It is an absolutely minefield, right? It is a minefield. And as with all advertising platforms, the only guarantee is that the platform you're paying the money to gets paid. There's no guarantee in anything else. If you hire a billboard, on the motorway, if you buy a TV ad, a radio ad, add in the Sunday supplements, they still do that. I don't know. Magazine ads. There's no guarantee you're going to get anything back at all. The only guarantee is that the advertising agency gets paid. And it is no different at all with Facebook, or for that matter, YouTube, or any other digital platform. There's no guarantees this is ever going to work. So that's the first thing. With that in mind, it's almost like one of those investment disclaimers, isn't it? That, certainly getting started, you should only be piling money into ads that you can live without, right? You can't be, hanging your hat on, got to make some money from ads, and as Sam will talk about, during this session, if you are in that point where you're thinking, I've got to make some money quick, I've got to make this work, then don't do ads, just do it organically. And that's, I think that's the first message I want to put over. Everyone's saying lovely hellos here, which is nice. Mimi's here from over in the States.
Jonny, has anyone else got a helpful partner that decides to clear out their office at the weekend and then moves everything?
Oh, well, my missus isn't allowed.
Sorry, everyone.
Here.
My husband did that at the weekend, and I just went into my audio box, and there are no headphones in there.
Oh, well, don't worry.
So I turned the speakers right down. And I hope
just keep the volume as low as you possibly can and still hear me. Hello. So we've got 3 stars from Fiona. So what we'll do, we'll get a little benchmark to start with. Fingers on keyboards, each and every one of you. Have you, and they say yes or no, have you used Facebook ads before? Have you spent any money on Mark Zuckerberg's ads platform? Have you given Zuck any money? A yes or no? So let's see where we are with this. So Caroline Days, no. Facebook user don't know who you are is a no. Frida's a no. Kim Biden's a oh yes. I had a feeling you might. That's the Surrey set. Kim's very posh. She's from Surrey, She's got loads of money to spend on ads. Claire Church is a yes. And boosting posts. Well, boosting posts are a form of ads, Kevin, yeah. Not such a good use, some would say. Maybe it hasn't used Facebook. Jonny said don't. Yeah, I did. I probably say you don't need to rather than don't do ads. Briefly. So, right. So here's the nub. I was waiting for one of these. So we don't have to interrogate you any further. Yes, but it didn't work. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, Sam, would it be useful to see what they've used ads for? Should we ask them that? What were you advertising?
If they want to throw some comments in.
Yeah.
What they were
just stick a comment in, just a single sentence about what were you advertising? What were you advertising? So Facebook users pay to share events. What were you advertising? Kelly's done it before. Facebook user. So if you said yes, tell us what you paid for. What were you advertising? What was the product or service or program or event, or what was it? What did you spend money on? And just while you're doing that, let's hear from you, Sam, because I've been talking too much. What's this all about today? What are we going to be talking about? What's the
Well,
headline?
I want to pack in as much value as possible for everybody. So I've written down some bullet points of some things that I think will be really helpful, but I'm really happy for people to throw questions at me, to, you know, anything that they particularly want to talk about. What I've done is, and Jonny's going to put the link up later, I've also put together a shared drive of some, you know, tools and bits and pieces that you can get your hands on,
Very, very
templates,
good, guys.
etc.
Stick around for that, guys, because we're only going to put the link in towards the end of the session. So we're going to reward you for sticking around, and you can download that folder. There are 5 resources in there which are going to absolutely blow your mind if you're thinking about doing ads.
So what I'd love to cover today is I think the first big question is, because we've got a real mixture of people that have run ads, haven't run ads. So the first thing I'd love to have a chat about is, and it's the biggest question, is at what stage in your business is it right to run ads? Is it right to start investing in paid advertising? So I'd love to have a chat about that. Kind of digging a little bit deeper in, from my experience, the type of coaching and therapy businesses that work on Facebook. And there may be some that I wouldn't recommend ads for. Kind of like the role of ads in a funnel and what ads can do for you. And then a little bit about, I suppose, about what you should be focusing on to get your ads to work. You know, what should your priorities be, and how you can use Facebook advertising if you're ready to go. Sort of some of the campaigns that I would recommend that you have a think about.
Yeah. Also, Sam, might be worth just a comment on this at some point, maybe a bit later on. You know, certain things work for a bit and then they don't. And what do we do about that? You know,
Yeah.
Why might that be? You know, and what needs to change to sort of keep up with it? Because it is a moving current all the time, isn't it? It's like
Absolutely. And things,
around.
you know, there was even an announcement today. I haven't had a chance to have a read the press release today, but there are some changes happening to the tracking. So it literally changes every 5 minutes, but there is some good news in that.
Yeah.
Facebook are trying to make it easier for advertisers, so we can talk about that as well.
Oh, good stuff. There's a point here. You have a question based on experience. As Sam has said, any questions you've got any time, just fire them into the chat, and yeah, we'll fit them into the workshop today for sure.
I like the idea of being in a pub, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be in a pub in a bit. Well, in a restaurant a little bit later. I'm going to treat ourselves to a meal out on Friday. Yeah, so what's ahead of us is a beautiful Google Drive. In fact, I'll just tease you guys with this and give you an idea what's in this Google Drive that Sam has very generously put together for us. So there is an ad hoc brainstorm template. You can have that. There is a questionnaire to work out. It's an infographic, in actual fact, to work out if you're ready for Facebook ads. So you're going to get that. There's Facebook family tree. This is how you run ads and ad sets and different ads within the ad sets. There is also, it hasn't opened this on here, is it? So there's some handy links anyway. That's just open now in a different browser. Thank you.
There's links to things like how to get hold of Facebook chat support.
Yeah.
There's some links to ads, to the ads terms and conditions, which is really important. You need to know, and other bits.
This is a beautiful ebook as well. We love reading pretty things, don't we? So this is from the desk of Sam, and it is absolutely brilliant. I'm loving it. So, Sam, let's just have a look here. We've got some more questions here. So, Facebook user wants to do ads for ages. Okay, well, stick around. Charlotte's used ads for personal transformation, used ads before, but not with this focus. Okay. I'm in the therapy business. You are indeed working with women with emotional eating. I know Facebook ads can be tricky. Yeah, you've got to be careful with wording, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
It's not just about insulting people, because they're very big on bullying these days, aren't they? But it is actually about making claims, particularly in the weight loss thing. You know, lose 7 pounds in 7 days, you have no chance of getting that up as an advert, because this is an interesting one, isn't it? This speaks to what I was talking about earlier, right? Proof of concept means demonstrating to yourself and to the market that you've got something they actually want. And this is why we labour so long and hard on the organic strategy, because there's no easier way to do it than, you know, build a community of people who might want what you're doing. Stick a few polls, have asked some questions like we do every single morning, and get proof of concept. Learn what your people want, and learn that the thing you're selling actually works. Because you know what, the best ad in the world can't sell a pup, can't sell rubbish if it doesn't work. The ads are no good. You can't prop up a useless proposition with adverts, can you? So that's a good point. That is proof of concept.
Yeah, absolutely.
When
Totally
you
agree
want to
with that.
start then, Sam, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm going to shut up for a bit.
Yeah. So I think what I'd love to do first of all is I'm going to caveat the advice that I give today and go give people a little bit of background, like really, really quickly background. So I've been in advertising and marketing for about 26, 27 years. I've been in digital media since it was called new media. I'm an OG in this space. And lots of people were saying that it would never be around. It was never going to catch on. You know, internet was never going to be a thing. And obviously sort of 20 plus, 30 plus years later, we're in a very different place now. So I've been in social media advertising since before Facebook was even born. But this is a moving target, as Jonny said. These things change all the time. So I don't pretend to know everything. This is my advice or my thoughts and my opinions from the last 26, 27 years, the last 9 years running Facebook ads, and the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years specializing in just working with coaches and course creators. But ultimately, it's my opinion. Facebook are quite guarded about the algorithm and what works and what doesn't work. And so we're constantly kind of second guessing, not trying to trick or trying to hack, because hacks are for old hacks, but trying to work out the best way of working with Facebook to get the best possible results. So I just kind of like want to put that out there first of all. But what I'd really like to kick off with is, and this is the question. In fact, I had a meeting with someone 2 hours before jumping on here, and I talked her out of running Facebook ads. She was all keen to, I want to spend. My business isn't growing fast enough. I think I'm just going to throw some money at it. I'm going to pay someone to do it. And I went, whoa. And what I loved about, sorry, I don't know who Facebook user is, who said about testing concept. That's absolutely right. And, you know, Jonny said the best ad in the world can't sell a pup. You've got to get out there. You've got to test if there's demand. You've got to test if there is a hunger for what you do and interest. And you must do it organically first, because I honestly think, and I've worked in TV, I've worked in different digital media. I personally love Facebook ads because when you get them right, they work really well. But ultimately, it's not a magic wand. It's not a silver bullet. And it's just an amplifier. So if you've got something that you've tested, that you know people have an interest in, and they're willing to put their hands in the pocket and they get their wallets out and pay for stuff, then it's an amplifier. It will amplify that. But if you have something that, you know, you could put your heart and soul into something for years, but if there's just not interest and people are not willing to pay for what you're offering, Facebook will just amplify that as well. And you'll learn your lesson very expensively.
It'll empty your pockets without a second glance.
They love making it easy for you to spend money with them. That's why the boost button exists, is to make it really, really easy for you to spend your money. So the first thing I'd say when you're kind of considering Facebook ads, and I always kind of chat to people when they're considering it, is, where is your business right now? If you've got to the stage where you feel like you've exhausted your reach organically, and so the difference between organic and paid. Organic is when you're posting, doesn't matter, you know, which social media platform, but it's where you're not paying for advertising. So it's organic or natural growth. If you feel like you've exhausted your reach, your impact, your influence, your sales, because it feels like you're hitting the same people time and time again. You feel like you've grown a group, but it's just a trickle now. If you're already selling programs, if you've, as I say, if you feel like you've hit a ceiling on your revenue, then consider advertising. If you haven't done all those things, I would say invest your time and don't invest your money. Not yet. Not yet.
No,
So
exactly. My take on that will be just to emphasize that buying ads is not going to dig you out of a hole. If you're not making any sales of your program, you can't find anybody around your community who wants to buy it. They're all saying, oh, I want to think about it, or I can't afford it, or that kind of thing. Ads are not going to solve that problem. You have deeper problems to wrestle with first. The first problem being audience. It's always audience before content, right? Remember my ABC mantra? Find the people who actually want what it is you do, and then create an offer for them and sell it. Make sure that they actually want it. And then, the ads can potentially drive those kind of people, more of those kind of people, into the top of the funnel, so you can nurture the relationship with them, and they'll buy your product. But you've got to test it first. It's got to have worked. And I think that's what Shireen's agreeing with here as well. There's a little bit of a story post here, which has covered up our faces. So I won't leave it up for very long, because I know you like to see our faces. Hello! I love the guy from India. Right, so what we're saying is, do we need somebody in between? I mean, look, I've always had somebody in between, because I'm rubbish with that. Well, it's not that I'm rubbish. I just haven't bothered to learn the platform. I can't be bothered, quite honestly. Sam loves it. Sam's one of those geeky lasses who just likes immersing herself in data and clunky social media platforms. I'm not that enamored of it, and that's why I haven't learned it. Also, when you're starting out, of course you need a guide. You need somebody to show you it, because this is where it's different from organic social media, Sam, isn't it? You can flub around in organic social media and try a few things, and the only jeopardy is your time. But if you're doing that in ads, you're actually spending real money, aren't you? Dollars or pounds, to discover that you don't know what you're doing. And that's bonkers, isn't it? I don't think anybody should.
I'd kind of, in a way, say, though, that Facebook is and has been over the last couple of years trying to make it more and more easy for advertisers, trying to make the strategies simpler and the tactics, etc., more simple. And definitely there's a big push at the moment. You were talking about find your audience earlier. When I was running ads 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, the big chunk of the time would be doing the research into the audience and finding all those interests and listing those out, and it would take forever. And that's what you had to do to let Facebook know who you want your ads shown in front of. Well, the machine behind Facebook has got a lot more intelligent now. And actually what Facebook want you to do is they really want you to go very, very broad, as broad as possible, almost to the point where you're just targeting age and location, no interest whatsoever. Now, I'm testing that with my own ad budget. I don't do that with my own clients. And it is, honestly, it's butt-clenchingly nerve-wracking, just going, I trust you, Facebook, to put this in front of who needs to do it. So
okay.
I wouldn't say, so going back to kind of like that question, can I do it myself? I don't have any issue with people having a go themselves. Keep your budget limited. Only spend what you can afford. A bit like going to a casino. Only spend what you can afford to lose if you're starting out. And actually, I would even say as well, I would add, if you get to the stage where you're ready to work with someone, I think it's actually good to have a very basic understanding anyway, because there are some phenomenal people in my industry. There are some great people, very honest, very open, will be very transparent, and some wonderful people. But there is also some charlatans, as there are in all industries, to the point where one of my clients said that they didn't have the tracking set up, and the agency was saying, oh, we're reporting you'll get 100 new leads every week. And she said, yeah, but I've done some research and I've worked out you actually haven't installed the tracking. So there is no way you can know how many leads have come through.
Yeah.
And they very quickly went, oh, okay, and disappeared into the mist and kind of gave them a refund. But I've heard some horror stories. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having a go yourself. But as they say, only spend what you can afford to lose. Go and find some basic level courses. So it's going to take some time and a bit of money as well to kind of learn the basics. But, you know, do have a play, but, you know, don't put your house on black, etc., because it will eat your budget really quickly if you're not careful.
Yeah, agreed. All right. I'm not sure why you name checked Kezar Khan. Is that somebody we should know about? I don't know, Shireen. That's a mysterious comment, to say the least. Sam, so let's assume that we've got some proof of concept that people know who their audience is and what they're selling, and they've proven that at least some of that audience will buy organically. What's the use case for Facebook ads at that point then?
Okay, so I suppose one thing to say before this is that I know that there's a lot of therapists in this group, a lot of coaches that do one-to-one work. It's very difficult if that's the only way that you work with people, and you are limited to the number of one-to-one clients that you work with. Obviously, it depends on how much you charge them, but it's quite difficult to make Facebook ads work for you if you're, say, for instance, working with, I don't know, 10 clients at £500 a month or $500 a month. It's quite difficult to make for coaches that work in that kind of space to actually make money from Facebook ads. Not impossible, but a little bit more difficult. The coaches and the therapists that it does work for are the ones that tend to have products at different price points through a customer journey. So they might have something at, and I'll talk about funnels, which I know is a bit of an icky kind of sales word, but you know, we can all visualize that funnel, can't we? You could have something free at the top of your funnel that brings people to your world. It could be lead magnets, it can be quizzes, it can be webinars, it can be all sorts of things to bring them into the world, and then give them the opportunity to buy from you at different levels and to graduate up through your levels. Now, not everyone will graduate in a linear form up through your levels. Some people will come in and they're fast action takers and they have a problem and they want to buy quickly, and they might skip straight to your premium one-to-one level. But it's those businesses that have multiple opportunities to buy that tend to fare better from Facebook advertising, in my experience. So, Jonny, going back to your question about the talks, I think what you're asking was like the sort of ads or the sort of promotions that you can run as coaches or therapists. So was that kind of what you meant, Jonny?
Sorry, I was just reading somebody else's comment there. Just ask me the question again.
Shall I answer the question I think you asked?
Go on.
Which was the sorts of promotion. So as I say, we just work with coaches and course creators. We work with Jonny, we work with others in this kind of space as well. And I'll tell you what I think is working really well for funnels. Historically, I've not been a massive fan of digital downloads of lead magnets. However, I've changed my mind since working with Jonny. And I think that comes down to the quality of the lead magnet and the pain point that you're solving. What I found historically is people might sign up for a download and then not look at it, not even remember they'd signed up for it. And therefore, it's been a bit of a wasted interaction. So historically, I haven't liked those. Unless you're very good, where Jonny's team is very good at is you might come into his world with a lead magnet, but very quickly he invites you into the group. Very quickly there's interaction. Very quickly he'll bring you into his hub where there's opportunities to work with him, learn other things, and do, to work with him in other ways. So you can do a lead magnet if you've got those other pieces built up, and if you, I don't want to say jump on them really quickly. I don't mean it that way, but if you follow up, because we know the fortune is in the follow-up, don't we? So
for me, all that is about serving the community authentically and deeply, and treating it like a real business. If you're prepared to do that, and you're a serious business owner, then of course any incoming leads are treated as the gold that they really are. So
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, we've got to be prepared to
So,
do that. We've got a
some,
couple of things I just want to display here.
I was gonna say, there's some
So
other ads I'd love to talk about. So remind me to
yeah,
come back to that.
go for it. So Shireen here has a an experience, bit of a warning. So no people who've lost multiple six figures. Oh my God. I think you'd stop before you'd lost multiple six figures. That would be the sensible thing to do. So yeah, I like the way Shireen's adding some balance to all this, because it's like everything else in life and business. That there are more wrong ways to do stuff than there are right ways. There are more bad ways to do it than there are useful ways. There's easier ways to lose money than there are to make money. So all that we're seeing here from Shireen and a couple of other comments is, learn how to do this properly. And Sam's here today, and we will learn in the next 20 minutes how Sam can help you and guide you, to hopefully not losing money if you're going to embark on Facebook ads.
So do you want me to jump back in some of the other kind of funnel ideas?
Yeah. So, what is it that we're going to be using Facebook ads for is, I guess, the question, right?
Yeah. So aside to lead magnets, we've obviously got live events in terms of webinars, masterclasses, challenges, etc. They're nothing new. We see lots of those. They are still working. They're still working, and the ones that work the best are the ones that have a very tangible benefit to coming along. So if you do something that's quite broad and unspecific, and you're not talking to a very niche audience, those are the ones that tend not to work. So 3 secrets to having a harmonious life.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds wonderful, but really that's not going to grab me in the news feed. Whereas if there was one, how to get your first 50 members into your Facebook group, and you just launched your Facebook group, that's probably something that you would sign up to come and watch. So if you are going to do webinar, I mean, in fact, this is for all kind of promotions, have a think about what that thing is that your ideal client is sat and has in their head, and the problem and the issue, what they think the problem is. Might not be what you actually deliver, but in terms of give them what they want, sell them what they want, give them what they need. So have a think about what's in their head and give them a tangible, something that they can self-identify really quickly and sign up for. So webinars, challenges, those are really working if you've got that tangible. Something else I'm really excited about, and again, it's not, none of this is new. We're not reinventing the wheel. Something I'm seeing working brilliantly at the moment is quizzes, if it ties in with your business. I've got one client who's a high performance health coach who works with female CEOs, entrepreneurs who have complicated family lives, children, commitments, etc., and then the high powered job, and they know they have to turn up every single day as their best self. So we've got a quiz running that is a health assessment in 5 different areas of their life. We've run ads to that, and we've tweaked it, but really haven't changed the funnel much at all. We've been running it for over a year. We've had 27,000 people come through it, give their email address. So it's an amazing lead generator at very, very low cost. I think it's on like 22 pence per completed quiz. It's ridiculous. But not only that, it's also by running that quiz, she's segmenting her audience. So she's being able to identify who she can help in which different areas. It's informing her content because she's seeing what people are saying in the quiz and how they're answering the questions. So she can then answer the questions, answer the problems that people have. And also, as a piece of research, to have that many people having filled out a survey, she can then get on to podcasts and interviews and things like that. So I love a quiz. Just before I move off from quizzes, I've also got a client who teaches people how to be firewalk instructors. It's a very, very, very niche. And when we really niche. And when she came to me, first of all, she said, Sam, I really want to borrow on Facebook ads, but it is so niche. I don't think I can get this to work for me. That really excites me. When someone says to me something is really, really niche, I'm like, yes, this is what's brilliant to work on. That I can work with. And we're running a really simple quiz, which is adding a firewalk right for your business? So no one, I'm not going to answer that quiz, because why would I add a firewalk to a Facebook ads agency? But if I was maybe a holistic spiritual therapist and I wanted to give my clients a deeper experience, but I didn't want to keep bringing someone in to do the firewalks, and I could learn how to be a firewalk instructor myself, I'm filling out that quiz every single day of the week. And then at the end of the quiz, there's like a mini webinar where she talks about what it means to be a firewalk instructor, and then there's an invitation.
It's not particularly an online business, that is it? Firewalks.
No, I mean that she's actually in America teaching it at the moment. She's based in Ireland, but she's teaching in America at the moment. But through these ads, she's actually made 20x return on investment so far on her ads, and she's also been invited over to Joshua Tree to go and do a big event where she's going to teach multiple people. So
just don't set fire to the tree when you're there, then.
Well, let's hope not. But now, just kind of these are things that if you've got a real niche, do a quiz or something, because people will self-identify, and they'll only complete that quiz if what you're saying to them really resonates and really interests them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what Sam mentioned earlier about 27,000 people in that quiz funnel at 22 pence each, you better believe that they're on the email list. Every single one of those is on the email list, Kevin. One of the things that we've realized is that when people join the Facebook group, not collecting their email address at the point of entry is leaving money on the table. It's a crazy thing not to do. And it's so easy. We're getting probably 9 out of 10 of everybody who joins the group now gives us their email address. So our email list is growing nicely. It's up over 3,000 as we speak, and growing every single day. The beauty of email, of course, and this alone could be a reason for doing Facebook ads, by the way, growing your email list. Beauty of email is it's your asset. Make no mistake, you do not own your social profile. How many people do you know this year have been banned from Facebook? I know 4 people, who've had their accounts closed by Facebook, lost everything, had to start again. Nobody can do that with your email list because it belongs to you. So if you're thinking about ads, think every single time, collect an email address. Absolutely essential, isn't it?
And there are ways of collecting email addresses on using Facebook ads that if you're sat there thinking, oh, but I don't have an all singing, all dancing website, I don't have a landing page, there's something called Facebook lead ad where they don't even leave Facebook and they sign up for whatever, your lead magnet or whatever it is you're getting them to sign up for. They don't even leave Facebook. So they fill out their details on Facebook, give you their email address, their telephone number, whatever you ask for on the form. So really, when you're ready for Facebook ads, there's nothing stopping you getting that email address. And I second what Jonny says about making sure that you've got the email address. I've got a client that had her account hacked yesterday, and she's gone on holiday, and she's on the beach trying to have a luxury holiday, trying to get her Facebook account reinstated. Yeah. It's not tears, but the air's very blue.
Yeah, exactly, guys. And I guess this speaks to perhaps a little bit of patience required, and going back to what we were saying earlier, build a business that's functioning first, that's going to feed you some regular income. If everything is depending on the ads working, then you're not going to have the breathing space. You're not going to have the relaxed approach to ads that's sometimes required. Just an example of that, if you're collecting email addresses and that's the purpose of the ad, then you're not making money immediately, are you? You're making money once you've nurtured them through the email campaign and they've bought something on the end of it. So, don't get into this space if everything is banking on it. If you just got everything resting on the ads paying you money immediately. All the better, if you can afford to just run some ads, with a few £100 a month, driving members into your group and giving you email addresses, as Sam and I've been working on, then there isn't that immediate pressure, is there, to get a return on investment. Are we disrupting your agenda here? What's
No,
next?
it's okay. I quite like the free flow.
What we'll do, guys, and sorry, so Sam and I haven't really massively planned this. I know Sam has, but I've got no idea what's next. If we run this till the hour, so another 20 minutes, we'll wrap it up within 20 minutes, including making your offer, Sam. I think that'll work. Won't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're all happy with that.
So I'd love to talk about kind of when you're setting up your Facebook ad, the important things to think about first. And there are some freebies in the Google Drive that are going to help you with this.
Yeah.
But really what you need to be focusing on, because I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there with trying to tell people that they're very expensive, very complicated strategies to running Facebook ads, and actually people then being distracted and not focusing on what's the most important bit. So in regards to that, if you see someone kind of trying to convince you to do a really complicated strategy on Facebook, honestly, run a mile.
Yeah.
Because
is this your family tree infographic, by the way, that you're talking about?
No, but I can touch on that in a bit.
Because I just wonder if you want me to share anything while you're talking.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, Facebook's trying to make it much easier for you to run ads. And over the years, there's been lots of people trying to sort of say they've got the hack, or they've got the secret, or they've got, they can wave a magic wand and here's the strategy that is going to sell absolutely everything and it works every single time. Facebook have moved away from that, and they've tried to make it as simple as possible. And ultimately, don't try and trick Facebook. Number one, there's absolutely no point. Facebook wants your ads to work, because if your ads work, you'll come back and you'll spend more
money.
If your ads don't, you won't spend. So it doesn't make sense for Facebook to make it complicated for you. And so the first thing that I say to people is, number one, don't expect your ad to do all of the lifting. The ad is part of the journey to winning a new client, getting someone to join your email list, but it's just one piece of the jigsaw. Now, it's a big piece at the beginning, granted, but it's just one piece of the jigsaw. So when people come to me and they say that they want their ad to get someone to sign them up for an email list, then buy this, then take this action, then buy this webinar. A Facebook ad is not going to do all of those things. You wouldn't train a puppy and say, sit, stand, roll over. The puppy's going to get really confused. So when you the first thing when you run a Facebook ad is, what is the one simple objective of this ad? What do you want someone to do right here, right now? Do you want them to sign up to your email list, to download your lead magnet? Okay, if that's the one objective, bear that in mind. Do you want them to watch a video that you've created because it's really important that they see this before kind of coming into your world? Is it really important that they go to your website? All of these have different objectives in Facebook. And what Facebook will do at the start, the very first thing Facebook does when you start setting up a campaign is it will ask you what your objective is. Don't second guess. Don't try and trick. Just tell Facebook what you want to achieve. So they have multiple, I think it's now down to about 12 different objectives, but they keep simplifying them and making it less and less. If you want to sell something, put sales down as your objective. If you want someone to become a lead, you want them to sign up for a webinar, or you want them to download a lead magnet, choose lead as your objective. If you want someone to watch a video, choose video views as your objective. If you want someone to go to your website, choose traffic as your objective. Now, within those objectives, there really are only a couple that I ever use. I tend not to use the brand awareness ones, because they're great if you're Coca-Cola and you've got a lot of money to splash around and you're happy with just people seeing that you're Coca-Cola. But I would imagine there's no one on this webinar today, this training today, that is Coca-Cola. So I very rarely touch the awareness ones. The ones for our clients that we really do, we pretty much run sales and leads campaigns. That's pretty much the two campaigns that we run. We don't mess around any of these sort of silly objectives. As I said earlier, the next part in running your campaign, and actually that the family tree does fit with this, and maybe I'll kind of like wave it. I don't think it's Oh, it's not back to front. Oh, that's good. I'm not being mirrored. So I've put this in the downloads, which breaks down what an ad looks like. It's like a family tree. So at the top, Facebook asks you what your objective is, and that's at the campaign level. The next bit is the ad set level, where Facebook will ask basically, who is it that you want to target? Where do you want your ads to run, and how much do you want to spend? And then sort of dates, etc. Now, Facebook are making this part more and more simple. And as I said earlier, they're trying to get you to go as broad as possible and allow the Facebook machine to go and find the best possible people. So it's getting more and more simple. So your focus should be, first of all, focuses on, as I said before, your objective. Then how much money do you want to spend at ad set level, and who do you want to see it, and keep it as broad as you possibly can. And then probably the really is the most important bit is the ad. You know, what are people actually going to see in their newsfeed? And again, I've put, so there's some freebies in here that you're going to have. So you've got a formula on how to write it. And I've also put a little template in here where you can work out how to write your ad copy. So there's lots of stuff in there that you can use. You can go away and kind of brainstorm for your own individual businesses. But the thing that I want you to take away from this when creating your ad is the image or the video that's in the ad. You need something where people can self-identify really quickly that this ad is for them. So, and really you have a second or two of people's attention if you're lucky. If you grab them in that second or two, and I'm not sort of talking about being clickbaity and pull them in on false promises, but they need to know really quickly. You know, they could see 1,000 advertising messages in one day. They just need to really identify very, very quickly that ad is for them. And then they will give you a little bit more of your attention. Their attention then tends to go to the text, the hook just above. And this is where we spend the most time when we're creating ads for any of our clients, is really thinking about what is that visual that's going to stop someone scrolling and they're going to self-identify really quickly. And then what is the text before the see more button that is going to pull them in and go, oh yeah, this is for me. This is really interesting. I empathize with this. This is for me. I'm going to give this more attention. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to perhaps not fully read the ad, because I don't think anyone really fully reads an ad, but certainly to kind of skim read it and see if they're interested.
Yeah.
As I say,
and a good template here, guys, to get you in this way of thinking is to, you know, look back on the things, if ever, that you bought from an ad yourself, you know, and just say, well, you know, first of all, what stopped me scrolling, you know, what caught my attention, and then what motivated me to click through. And as Sam said, you know, 100% of the cases, it's going to be that the visual was appealing and caught your eye. That's why you stopped to read it. And secondly, then what you read actually meant something to you. It looked like it could be useful, and then you click through, didn't you? So this isn't rocket science. This is about you know, entering the conversation that's going on in their heads. What is it that your ideal clients want? And, you know, more than ever, just really hone that down so that it appears on your advertising message. We've got a question here from Kevin. I don't know whether you can answer this one. That's a common belief, isn't it, that because there's so many people doing it, that you're just going to get overwhelmed and your ad cost is going to go up. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, so Kevin, yeah, definitely the cost of advertising has gone up on Facebook. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. The best time to advertise, I'm afraid, was in the middle of lockdown. So the cheapest advertising then, as marketers pulled their budgets and there were more eyeballs. So of course it's supply and demand. So as the demand for the advertising goes up and the eyeballs still growing actually on Facebook, believe it or not, but as the eyeballs kind of steady off, maybe in the UK, USA, you know, the big 5 countries, of course the advertising does get more expensive. So I won't disagree with that. It just means that you can't do lazy advertising. You really have to consider that the currency on all social media is attention. And it's not attention for the wrong reasons. As I say, it's not clickbaity attention, but it's about getting people to really connect very quickly and kind of discover you because you're speaking their language. in opposite to kind of what you're saying about competing with the big guys, I work with clients. I don't work with clients who are spending millions per month. That's not the type of clients that I work with. But I've certainly got clients that are spending 30, 40, 50 grand a month on their advertising. And let me tell you, the bigger your budget, actually, the more difficult it gets to kind of like, there's a sweet spot. So I'm not saying kind of the £5 to £10. I think you've really got £5 to £10 a day is actually quite tricky. But when you're starting to really push the big guys, Facebook actually, I'm going to take a step back and kind of explain it. So what Facebook does out of the gate when you first start running a campaign is it will show your ad to the best prospects, it thinks. So it will show your ads to the best audience. It then learns. So you go into learning phase, it then learns. And as you come out of learning phase, it's kind of gone, okay, I showed it to the best audience. Let's now push it to like the borders of that. Let's see who else we can show it to get the results for that advertiser. It's very difficult to do when you're a small audience, when you've got a very small budget, because you're just not getting in front of enough people for Facebook to come out of the learning phase. But also when you've got a big budget, you've almost gone, show it to more people than Facebook is comfortable doing. And actually your cost per advertising can go up with a big budget. So don't envy the big guys. The sweet spot is probably lower than you think.
Yeah, good. And Kevin's just wondered, can you reference other accounts?
Yes, there is, Kevin. There is, and there's a link in there's a document with loads of links in the Google Drive that Jonny's going to give you the link for at the end. But you can Google this anyway. There's something called Facebook Ads Library. So if you just Google Facebook Ads Library, you then put in the country and the category of the advertising. By category, they're really worried about sort of politics, housing, employment. So you just collect all category, and then you can either search by, in fact, there's two ways of doing this. You can either search by an advertiser, or you can search for a keyword, and it will show you all of the ads that it finds for that country the person is advertising in, and you know, and all the ads for that keyword. So have a play around with Facebook Ads Library. Another way to find it is if there is a specific competitor that you want to keep an eye on, you can go to their Facebook page, and depending on the format or the template they're using for their page, there will be something on there over on the left-hand side on desktop that's called page transparency. Or if you go into about and then look for page transparency, you can go and have a look at the ads one of your competitors is running right now. Now, it sometimes shows you historical, but often it doesn't. But mostly it will show you the ads that it's running right now. And what it will also do is it will tell you when they started running the ads. Now, if they've got a decent person running their ads, they're not going to run an ad that doesn't work more than, I mean, depends on how big their budget is. But if they're running an ad that they've been running for 2 or 3 months, that ad is working. If if the ads has been only running for a few days, it might work, but I would give it a little bit of time and keep going back into that page to see if that ad works.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I hope that answers your question.
We see ads in our feed that have got comments from a year ago, and you've got to be pretty certain that that's an ad that's working. Otherwise, they wouldn't have kept it.
In theory, they shouldn't be running that ad anymore if it's not working for them. I won't say that there aren't some lazy buyers out there who just left ads running, because I'm sure there probably are. But on the whole, if an ad is still running, it is working.
Well, listen, we're getting to the point, guys, where we are going to serve you this incredible bundle of goodies, which I know from having examined it earlier, I know from working with Sam that this stuff is absolute gold. If you use this Google Drive folder, you should be able to take some steps into setting up Facebook ads. Just before we do that, there's a quick question for Sam here. That's how long's a piece of string, isn't it?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, Chris, I'm afraid. So it's a balance of, you need to spend enough to get out of that learning phase, ideally, but not so much that you're going to have to sell a kidney. So and
if you do sell a kidney, make sure it's not your own.
Yeah. I think only one of my children doesn't drink, so I can sell his for anyone else's. Or is that liver? That was a joke, by the way, if there's anyone with social services.
Yeah, we
Listen
got
to this,
that.
and
I'm
just about to
laughing
sell my
inside.
child's kidney. Sorry about that. I've forgotten what the question was now. I'm thinking about kidneys.
The question was about
How much daily spend.
an ad budget, basically.
Yeah, there isn't. So, Chris, there isn't kind of like a magic number where I can say to you, if you spent $20 a day, £15 a day, this is going to get your answer, because it depends on what you're selling, and it depends on what the objective is. I personally, so I can't give you like a golden rule, I'm afraid, but I know that's not going to help you. I would say you could probably get enough learning from spending $10 to $20 a day.
Yeah.
Run it for a week. Know that you're going to spend that money. Know that you're probably not going to get anything back from it. Be happy, but get some learnings from that.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't try any, as I said earlier, don't be sidelined by people saying, oh, you need to do this strategy, and then you warm up the audience, and then you do an engagement, and then you retarget. Those tactics were working a couple of years ago, not really working now. If you've got an objective, you want people to sign up for your lead magnet, just do a lead ad.
Just focus.
Run it at $20 a day. Run it for a week. Don't put 2 or 3 at maximum ad creatives in there, just different variants, and just run it for a week and go, I'm just going to see how this goes. If no one signs up, in fact, you should know within 48 hours, 72 hours, if no one signed up at all, turn it off. But kind of, there is no, sorry, Chris, there is no kind of like magic number.
Just as a guide, if you want, guys, we've been spending $20 a day purely to get people in the Facebook group, and it's been averaging out about 4 or 5 people join the group from that. So maybe $4 or $5 each for each. Each new member.
I'm happy to share some kind of numbers I'm seeing in the market at the moment with different things, and then you can kind of think how this might work with your ad budget. Say for instance, you're running a webinar. Typical cost per lead, depending on what the webinar is, and I'm going to give you quite a wide, and I'm going to do it in pound sterling. I'm seeing the lowest at around about £2 per sign up. The highest I'm seeing at the moment is around about 15 to £16. But these are people that are offering 2 very different things. The ones in the top are in the property education space, so they're teaching people how to buy and sell property, how to flip properties, HMOs, etc. It's a very, very busy marketplace, a lot of competition in it, and there's a lot of reticence at the moment for people that just don't want to get into property.
And they're selling expensive training as well.
The cost per lead on that has gone up, and the economy isn't helping on it at the moment. The lower end was who was that webinar for? I think it was for I think it might have been my firewalk instructor that was doing actually it was a spiritual webinar that she was doing that was tapping into the power of the full moon to manifest, etc. So she's got it on the low end. If I were going to give you an average, I would say between £5 and £8 per sign up for a webinar. Lead magnets, they can be a little bit cheaper because people can just sign up for them and they don't have to kind of, oh, do I want to turn up to that webinar? What's my commitment? So they can be a little bit cheaper. Yes. Quizzes, as I say, 22 pence has been my lowest one. The firewalk quiz, between about £1.50 and £3.50. We're trying different quiz software and one of them isn't converting as well. Exactly the same ads. So Chris, I hope that kind of helps you when you're thinking about your daily spend.
Yeah.
You can kind of almost reverse engineer, if you want so many people to sign up for your webinar, how much you're going to need to spend. Anyway,
and the cost per lead, sometimes, although this isn't a linear relationship, cost per lead is in alignment with the value of the lead to you. So, those quiz funnel leads at 22 pence each, there's not so much of a filter as to who those people are. It's like it's just going to be a massive pile of everybody and everybody, really.
From my Jonny, just saying, from my own ads, because I do a done for you Facebook ad service and it's higher ticket, I'm happy to pay £150 to £200 for a Facebook lead, for a good lead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm happy to pay that. So it depends on ultimately what you're selling.
All right. So, Sam, we have, and the rest of you out there, we have prepared. We have prepared something here. So there is a bit.ly link along the bottom of the screen here, which should not be too hard for you to type into your browser. Now, what this will take you to is a folder that looks like this. So there is no cost to this, and I was kind of saying to Sam, really, are you sure? Because I think we should charge for it. This is what you'll get when you type that link in and just press enter. So it's bit.ly / and bit.ly links are case sensitive, so you need to go T thank _ F flip. So it's as easy as we could have made it at this point. bit.ly / T thank _ F flip. You can see it on the bottom of the screen down here. So if you can find a way to type that into your browser, I'll make a note of it for later. You will get access to this Google Drive of goodness with all these fantastic things which Sam has prepared for you. So I'm really, really grateful to Sam for doing this, because there's a lot of work goes into this stuff. And then to just gift it to you guys, is an act of tremendous serving and helping. So thanks for all this, Sam. Really do appreciate it. We've got something else, haven't we, Sam, that you'd like to talk about as well? What's the next stage once they've had a look at this? And again, this is something that we're not going to do very often. Sam's not going to do very often, because this is a direct use of your time, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah. So what I'm going to offer to the group is, and there should be another link coming up in a second from Jonny, is I've opened up 10 20-minute slots in my diary for anyone. It's free of charge. Anyone that would like to, because I've noticed some questions that I haven't answered. Anyone would like to get on a call with me for 20 minutes. If you're running Facebook ads already and you want me to have a look at your Facebook ads and make some suggestions, if you're just starting out and you want me to walk you through Ads Manager, anything like that, if your ads were working and they're now not, anything like that. So I've got 10 spots, and they're each 20 minutes.
That is the link on the bottom there. So bit.ly / JHM, all caps, _ 20 minutes.
Free of charge. Please only book a session, because there's only 10 sessions. Please only book a session if you're going to turn up.
So what I'm going to do, just to serve you even more, is I'm going to put a link to the sessions. Grab these quick, because Sam's only doing 10, as we said. So bit.ly, should type this in comments before, JHM _
Facebook user, I'm just going to answer a question while you're chatting. Facebook or typing rather. Facebook user asked a question about people making purchases on the website, but it doesn't show how much they've spent. That's likely to be to do with, and this is getting a little bit more advanced, the way the purchase event code has been set up. When that was set up, you can indicate to Facebook to pull in the amount of money that person spent. It's not perfect. It's not great. And Facebook are moving away. There was a press release today about them phasing out the pixel. So I don't know quite how it's going to be replaced or what it's going to be replaced by. But at the moment, it will be down to your event code in your pixel that is not firing that information across. As I say, not perfect. So you might want to look at a third party. You might want to tie it in with kind of like your Google Analytics. There's another couple. There are a couple of third parties like Hyros, which is really expensive, Segmetrics. There are some third parties that do better Facebook reporting for more e-commerce kind of online purchases. So hopefully that answered that question.
Yeah, exactly. And if there isn't a huge volume of them, of course you could do it manually. You could kind of try and attribute sales just by looking at them and see if you can follow the names through. So I've put 2 links in the comments here. One is to the sessions. That's the one that's still scrolling along the bottom of the screen here. The other one is to the downloads folder, bit.ly / T thank _ F flip. I will just actually toggle that one back on. So if you want the downloads, that's the one that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. If you would like to grab one of those slots with Sam, and these will go very, very quickly, because don't forget, it's not just you guys watching this live, it's the replays, which are all over the place on LinkedIn and across Facebook. So this is the one on the bottom now for the 20-minute Ask Sam Anything About Ads session, the JHM _ 20 minutes. So that's our way of serving you on this glorious Friday. Sam, do you want to leave a message ringing in our ears? If you could let these lovely people have one golden nugget about either getting started in ads or doing ads again and making them work this time, what would that be?
It's all about the messaging. So it's all about don't worry about the strategy. It's all about the creative, and it's bearing in mind that your ideal clients will give you, if you're lucky, 1 to 2 seconds. So it's speaking directly to them through the visuals and through the hook above the visuals, above the video. And it's about getting it to resonate with them really quickly, so that as soon as they see that in their newsfeed, like, this is for me. That's my one thing I would say. If you're going to concentrate, if you're going to take away nothing else, consider that.
Beautiful. And that circles right back to where I started from, wasn't it? Because if you have a business at the moment that's not working at all, nobody's buying your stuff, nobody's replying to your posts, nobody's commenting on your posts, you can't transfer that mess into the ads manager and expect the Facebook ads to work. So we've got to get some proof of concept. You've got to get people buying your stuff first. You've got to know your client, know what they want, and then you've got a fair chance of making the ads work. I think that's a nice positive note to end on, isn't it? Okay, any final questions, guys? Let's just go around the room. So I can see there's still a good solid handful of you here. Just before
Annabella asked, what are your thoughts on running ads to promote groups? Is this possible? Technically speaking, you cannot run an ad to an internal link on Facebook. So technically speaking, you can't just run an ad to your Facebook group. I have seen workarounds. I have had a look at some ads that are workarounds. I personally would never try and trick Facebook. If Facebook doesn't want you to do that, don't do that. But the way we do it for Jonny is that the ad is for the lead magnet. And this also goes back to getting their email address as well. Get them to sign up for something and then invite them into the group. So grow your group that way rather than trying to push them straight into the group. I think also as well with groups, people can sign up for loads and loads of groups and forget they've signed up for it. So at least having that email means you can remind them to go back to the group. So you can serve them better. You can pull them back in. So hopefully that answered your question, Annabella.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Thanks, Sam. Just a final reminder, if you want that downloads folder of goodness, there are 6 fantastic downloads in there. bit.ly/JHM. I'll just go, oops, no, done the wrong one. It's the thank flip thing. So that thing that's in white. I'm confusing everybody here because the banner's different to the comment right now. And just make that right. Oh. So on the banner and on the screen, bit.ly/T thank_F flip. That will get you the downloads folder of goodies. Secondly, then just go back into the comments and pick this one. This is to grab a chat with Sam. If they're still available now, good luck, you can grab one. I can promise you by the time the sun goes down this evening, there will be none of those left. So jump on that if you want to do that. If you want to talk to Sam this week, Sam's more than open to do that. She's been very generous with us today. And you can do that. bit.ly/JHM_20 minutes. I'm out of steam. So before we go, give us some hearts, some thumbs. Say yay in the comments if this has been useful. Give us a yay. We want some hell yays and some yays and some woo and some all the rest of it. All right.
I can get my paddles out for this.
Give us some nice ones. Yay. We've got a lovely thank you here. Come on, give us a yay in the comments, folks. There we are from Kevin. We know you've got lots of energy, Kevin. You work with energy, as you are often reminding us. So we've got a hell yeah, we've got a thank you. Come on, give us some more yays. Let's have it. Here's a hell yeah from Thailand. This is above and beyond because it's 11 o'clock in the evening for Charlotte in Thailand.
Where's Charlotte?
She's in Thailand.
Ooh,
yeah,
lucky Charlotte.
11 o'clock in the evening right there. Give us some more yays. Come on, we feed off your energy, folks. I'm just going to leave you with the important link on the screen. It's that one there. If you want to grab a chat with Sam, do it right now. And there's a
Oh, Switzerland.
Beautiful. People all over the world. Sam, thanks so much for being here and putting your time and energy into this. I really appreciate it. I'm sure these lovely people do. If you're watching this on the replay, good luck grabbing that slot. They're probably all gone. If they're not, click it and you'll get one. And very helpful, says Kim. I think between us, we've nailed it, don't you, Sam?
I didn't even show the Ads Manager. What I'll do, guys, if anyone's still listening, I will record a video and I'll pop it in that drive as well of a guide of Ads Manager, because I think that'd be super helpful as well. So watch out for that. Give me some time though, okay?
We'll see you all soon. Have a blessed weekend, you guys. Love you lots.